And we're live. Hello and welcome to Inner Preservation's first live show ever. So it's a bit unscripted, so you'll have to bear with us. It's our first one. But we hope to do this every 2 weeks, and which we could build up on. And we're hoping to feature guests like we've got today. We're going to be doing live meditations, and we're going to be going self-help as well, talking about all different types of topics each show. So today's show is all about manifestation, okay? And I thought it would be a good time to bring on my friend Dave, one of my best friends. How you going, mate? You good?
Yeah.
You've travelled a bit, haven't you, today to get to us?
Yeah.
Yeah? So, yeah, just want to talk about manifestations. Nice, easy chat. And wanted to talk about your journey, really. I mean, so for the last year, I've noticed a huge difference in your life, like all for the good, you know, positive changes, all really good. And so many different ways. And, you know, you've become a long distance runner, you practice meditation every single day, your spiritual outlook on life has completely changed. Well, it was non-existent before, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was actually.
Yeah, and we just want to talk about this to show that, you know, it doesn't matter who you are, anybody can do this, you know, it's not a specific thing. Anyone can do this if you just try and you want to change your life. It's about changing your mindset. So, yeah, mate, I thought we'd talk about that, really. So it's been about a year, hasn't it, since you've had your, shall we say, spiritual awakening?
Just literally just over a year. So I think it was June 2021.
That's it,
And
yeah.
I was like, okay, something has to change in my life. you
Yeah.
know? So, yeah, you remember I got into Joe Dispenza?
I did indeed. So would you say that he was probably the biggest influence in the beginning of the journey?
I think he was like a catalyst.
Yeah.
You know, there was a lot of things around me, which I didn't realise at the time. Now looking back,
Yeah.
I realised there was all these little things around, and then when I watched that, that's when I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just give a little bit of background, really. So before last year, before the awakening, we'll call it, you weren't you were happy with your life, but you weren't going exactly the way you wanted to go. There were things you wanted to give up, certain things, vices that you weren't too happy about, that might have been holding you back really from your potential.
Well, yeah, you know, it's like the same. Obviously, I travel quite a lot, which is cool and that, but I didn't feel like I was really progressing in life. You know, it doesn't matter how many countries you go and see or what you do. If you're not entirely happy inside, it's not worth it, is it? So
Exactly, yeah.
that's when it was like time for let's change something. Let's feel better, you know. And
So we're right in saying that, you know, you can have all the things in the world. You can be as rich as one, and you can go away to as many different countries as you want. But if you're not right inside, you know,
it's not worth anything.
as the greats say, true happiness comes from within, and you've got to start off inside, haven't you?
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
You know, and that's what we're trying to get across with the manifestation, is that, you know, to get anywhere, you've really got to make that change inside first, and become happy. And for me, obviously for Dave as well, I had a similar kind of thing, an awakening last year as well, and I had vices and things that I too wanted to give up. I just felt like I was in a cycle, a never-ending cycle, where it just wasn't ending. I kept doing the same things, and I knew what I was doing was wrong. And I'm sure
Same.
you were the same,
Exactly
yeah?
the same. You know, you just.
You know you're doing something wrong, but you know what you've got to do as well to change it. But
You just need to put in the
effort.
discipline, I'm going to say.
Yeah,
You know, and that's where meditation came into it.
yeah,
And that's when
yeah.
I started doing that. I find, man, like the little disciplines in life, the meditation, 20 minutes per day, has changed so much.
Really,
Like,
yeah.
Between 13 months ago and now, you know, and I believe 100% that it's from that first discipline, starting to do meditation every day,
That's it. Yeah,
which.
yeah. I mean, it's different for everyone, isn't it? I mean, the reason why you'd want to start changing or manifesting something into your life, it's like, everyone's reasons are different. Like for us, it was, you know, we had vices that we wanted to get rid of. For someone else, it might be, you know, you want to get a better job, or, you know, you want to move to a certain country, or you want to start doing something more often, or get fit, or this, that and the other.
Being
And
happier.
Be happy. The idea is to be happier inside, and you know, I found that there weren't many things that worked for me. I mean, I, you know, had a big sort of change last year, and there's certain things like, you know, drug habit I had to get rid of, and I did really well. And it was years and years and years of this cycle that just never seemed to end. But the one thing I found that changed for me was definitely spirituality.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, I honestly don't think I could have done it without it.
We was opposite, weren't we? Because you was a big smoker.
Yeah.
And I was a big drinker.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it was like, but neither of us could find what we really wanted within, could we?
No.
And it weren't until...
You're almost masking at something that...
Yeah, you are.
It's just putting a band-aid on on something that's never going to heal.
And then finally, you surrender.
Yeah.
And did you feel like you surrendered? You're like...
You just got to admit. It's like they say, you've got to surrender.
And just give yourself to the universe.
Yeah, yeah. Give yourself up. You've got to be completely and utterly honest with yourself, assess your situation, whatever it is you're trying to do. But yeah, I mean, for you, obviously there were certain other things you've done since then. You're a long distance runner, you've done cycling. Yeah. Do you want to talk about your running and what you hope to achieve with that? Because I know you want to get quite a good level, don't you, in the next couple of years? You've got some real goals.
I'm gonna do at least a half Ironman next year.
Wow, yeah.
At least.
So what does that entail? Do you know? Is it distances or?
1.9 kilometres swimming, 90 kilometres on a push bike, and then a half marathon, so 21 kilometres running in the space of 8.5 hours, I think. So it's quite a lot. But
that is quite a lot.
I already imagine it done.
Yeah.
I can already see the success.
So you're picturing it, yeah.
I pictured it. It's here. I've got it. You know.
I mean, needless to say, mate, I don't you're in fantastic shape now, but last year I don't think you would have been able to do that, would you?
Mate, I never went to the gym. Never did anything to look after myself. It was all about trying to escape, you know. It's like, let's go to the pub, let's drink beers, let's smoke cigarettes, let's do, you know, different drugs. It was never about connecting like the heart and the brain, really looking after the body with the mind and the body. Yeah. And that now is so important. I barely drink now. I mean, I still have a few beers here and there when it's a special occasion, but for me, there's so much more important things like looking after yourself and being in love with yourself, basically.
Yeah. And you wouldn't have realised that before?
No, never.
Yeah.
Not until I surrendered.
That's it.
And gave up and decided, okay, now it's time. And but yeah, like I say, my first thing I started watching was that Joe Dispenza, Rewired, and I was like, okay, he's saying ordinary people can do it. Then I'm going to try. And I started to rewire my brain, and the most important thing for me was meditation every day, but also during the day, becoming conscious, becoming aware, not doing autopilot. You know, like you spend the whole day in autopilot, don't you, at work and da-da-da. But when you start to become more conscious, wow, man, you start to notice things change and different things start happening. It's like, wow, where have I been missing all this?
You get a piece of the nectar, don't you? You want more.
Also, when you appreciate that like things are changing, it happens more, and you start to recognise it, and it's here and there. And then sometimes you don't recognise it, and you look back, you're like, wow, that happened because of, you know.
Yeah. It's the synchronicities that you start to notice.
Synchronicities of the universe.
I mean, you know, you might, and you start to notice that this is when, you know, you're doing well and you've got your disciplines in place, but you start to notice things. You might think of someone, and they'll call, or you'll think, oh, I really want this, or things will start actually working out how you're thinking. You might think, oh, it's just a coincidence at first, but then, you know, it happens 8 times in a row within a few hours or within a day. You think, hold on a minute, something's not right here, but it's all for the good. And that's the first sort of things you start to notice. But obviously, we said about your running and where you've got to now, that was you manifesting it. But to get there, obviously, there's things you've got to do. So it's all about discipline. But until you start manifesting and thinking differently, then, you know, you've got to get your mind right to get the disciplines in place. It's not just going to happen like that. Obviously, there's got to be work that you need to do. But the meditation and the self-help techniques that we'll talk about in a bit, actually, that, you know, it's going to help massively, and it will literally quite like Dave just said. You know, you need to rewire your brain. So a lot of people will find with manifestation that they might struggle because, you know, they put blocks in on themselves.
Yeah.
And it's often negative self-talk and stuff like that that's always holding someone back. Like if you want that better job, if you want a pay rise, if you, whatever you want, you know, you talk yourself out of it. And I did so many times with my vices, you know, in the cycle. You get to a certain point, you talk yourself out and you come straight back again to route one. But yeah, like I say, it's just
Which
all
is the ego.
the ego.
It's the ego.
Yeah, it's your
saying,
ego getting in the
no,
way.
you don't need to do that. We're okay as we are.
Exactly.
But if you quiet the ego
Yeah,
and you get past it, I feel like I found a new best friend last year when I started meditating,
yeah,
and I was like, and it got to this stage. Now, like, I'm like, wow, man, I got this new friend, which is me.
Yeah.
You know yourself.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
incredible.
Excellent. And like you say about the ego, I mean, that is essentially, you're not present when you're, most of the time, you're not really present when you're living in the ego, because you're either thinking about something you could be or something you're better at, or the future,
Exactly.
excuse me, or the past. Yeah. And it's mostly about being present, isn't it?
It is, mate. It is, because
You know.
when you're present, you can control your thoughts. You know what's going on around you, and
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
never going to completely get rid of the ego. I don't think,
no,
because it's like yin and yang.
Yeah.
You need that.
yeah.
But you can quiet it. You can and keep it at bay.
Keep it at ease, yeah. And obviously there's certain ways to do that. Like, it's like when you're meditating, you know, and it's the chatter in your mind. It's the negative self-talk that's all going to convince you otherwise to not do what you've got to do. Oh, yeah, I'll just take this break. I won't do this. It's the hard work. And you've got to get beyond that ego and get beyond that chatter. And meditation is a fantastic way to do it. But, you know, like the greats say, meditation doesn't have to be you sitting down in a dark room with your eyes closed. You can meditate all throughout the day. And I've been practicing that recently myself, just day to day, just trying to be present. I mean, the idea of meditation is to quiet the mind. That's the ultimate goal. So you can connect within, just have a rest if you want, or you can work on things in the present, you know, that you want to get better at. But to get over the negative self-talk, I found was one of the hardest things. I mean, what do you do? I mean, it's about observing, isn't it?
Honestly, it is about observing. But like you say, it was difficult. It is probably the most difficult thing
Yeah.
I've ever done, is to change your personality. Because that's
Yeah.
what you're doing. You're still the same person,
Yeah.
but when you rewire your brain, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of being aware.
Yeah.
And you know, if you catch yourself going into subconscious and your ego mind,
Yeah.
then, but actually it's a good thing. You catch yourself like, oh,
Yeah.
it's doing it again. And when you become more aware,
Yeah. Yeah.
it is very difficult. But when you start, if you just stick at it, consistent, it starts to unfold. It starts to unfold, you know?
It does. It's all about persistence and consistency. I mean, that's probably for anything in life, isn't it? Persistence and
That's
consistency.
my 3 new words, is consistency, discipline and time.
Yeah.
For me, I look at everything now with those 3 in
Yeah.
mind, you know, because things do take time.
Yeah.
Nothing, you know, a beautiful tree that's huge wasn't grown like that, was it?
No, it's an
So,
acorn to a giant
exactly,
tree.
it
Yeah.
takes time. But you know, the discipline, turning up, being there, being present all the time,
Yeah.
you know, and yeah, it's
I think we can agree that, yeah, being present is one of the most important things, because not only are you going to get rid of all the chatter, but you don't realise how much you're on autopilot. They say that
95%.
it's 95% of all your thoughts that you're ever going to think of in your life or your day to day, that you won't actually be present or conscious of the present moment, you know, or what you've got to do. You'll be thinking about, oh, I've got to do this later, and when I get home, I've got to finish this work, or money problems, this, that, and the other. And you know, you'll get to a point where you need to face that. But in the meantime, all you're doing is you just make yourself worse. Another 95%.
But like you say, you get to the point where you're going to face that. I mean, these things, this 95% of your day in the subconscious, you know, autopilot,
Yeah.
a lot of these things have happened. They've gone. There's nothing you can do about it. It's, you know, and the things that are in the future haven't happened. They might never happen. So it's 95% of useless thinking, really.
Exactly.
And people get stressed. Stress comes from worrying about the future. people get anxiety, depression. That comes from thinking about the past. You know, so all these things that you get that we create these sicknesses is from being in the past, being in the future.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
we should really, if you can, put in as much effort to be here now, then everything is
On a plate.
You don't stop smiling, do you?
Yeah.
Because you know, sweet, we're happy, we're breathing, we're alive.
Yeah.
Let's just enjoy it.
I mean, anxiety is an emotion pretty much that is solely reserved for the future.
Yeah.
I mean, anxiety only comes from things that's going to be happening. I mean, they say depression, it stems from past instances, and anxiety is reserved for the future. So, another 95% quote here. Stress is actually behind 95% of all illness and disease. It's the initial thing that triggers most things. It will mutate cells. It will do all sorts of bad things. And you think, if you've got something going on next week, why am I treating myself like this? I'm doing this to myself. You are the only person that has the power to authorize what thoughts you have, and you can make them all good. And the more you do that, there's things about your mind will change your physical body.
Yep.
The studies that have been shown, people who, for example, their finger muscle, there'll be a group of people who think about contracting this muscle every day for, 100 times a day, for example. And so another group who actually lift up a weight with the finger. And they said that after something like a month of doing this, the two different groups had the same amount of increase. And sometimes some of the people who were just imagining it had more strength in that finger. And it's just crazy to think that the mind can manifest that in the body, like it manifests disease. So if you think you can manifest disease and bad things, why doesn't it work the other way? And it does. There's been fantastic, wonderful stories of people overcoming cancer and all sorts of terrible illnesses and disease purely with the mind, meditation, and help from monks and such, But anyway, we'll talk about manifestation then. So in your day, just take us through a normal day. What's your routines? What's your disciplines that got you to where you are now?
To be honest, I've got certain ones that I keep, but also I'm constantly learning, constantly listening to podcasts, watching things on Gaia, listening to different people, So I'm trying to adapt all the time, like monks as well. There's so much information out there.
Yeah.
So it's constantly changing, but I've got fundamental disciplines. First thing is wake up early.
Yeah.
How
early?
At the moment, 4:15.
Wow, that is early, isn't it?
But that's
Cool.
no, but that's get up straight away, wake up,
Yeah.
breathe, and just smile into the day. Like hear the birds singing outside. I've always sleep with the window open. Hear the birds singing, and just smile and just breathe. Right, we're here, and then turn my alarm off, and straight away I'll do meditation. Just though the brain's kind of still, just rousing up, and it's not too busy thinking about stuff, and I'll just go into a meditation for like 20 minutes in bed, sitting up. Get up, make the bed. Very important. Tiny discipline, worth a lot. Make the bed. Drink a glass of water with lemon juice. Always
Nice.
like detox inside,
Okay, yeah.
So half a lemon with some water, smash that. I just feel like it's a nice detox. This is all little things that I've been finding online.
Yeah.
And then get down the gym.
And what time's that usually?
The gym class is at 6, so I get there at 6 and then get to work, do the gym, and then
CrossFit at the moment, isn't it?
CrossFit, yeah.
Yeah, that's a
I never thought I would
isn't
be
it?
saying that this time last year.
No, I can't
I don't
believe
think
it.
anyone would.
Changed man.
But daily CrossFit.
So you've done all that even before you start work early anyway, but you've done all this even a
Before
cold shower?
work.
Did you say cold shower?
But the freezing cold shower happens after the gym, So that's like
Got ya.
7 a.m. About 7 a.m. I'm in the freezing cold shower after the gym. 2 minutes. Wim Hof, great example. Of
A great teacher.
amazing
Check him out
human.
if you've not heard of him. Wim Hof,
Yeah.
The Iceman is
The
known
Iceman,
as, isn't he?
yeah.
Yeah, brilliant guy. So that helps with a lot of
Every
things.
day, freezing cold shower for 2 minutes.
Circulation, muscle tone, and discipline as well.
Yeah, but it's also good for your mind.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
You
really
get-
good for your mind. The
Yeah.
cold shower, breathing exercises. They're not something that I do daily. I do them, but they are sensational. Breathing exercises.
It's getting used to things that you don't necessarily like doing.
Exactly.
And that's a good discipline.
But these things don't take that long. Look, for me, 20 minutes of meditation, all right? There's people out there and they say, I'm too busy to meditate, or you know, I'll be thinking too much. And if anything, you need to do it more than anyone else. That 20 minutes, sometimes it's more, sometimes it can be less, but that, let's say 20 minutes per day, look at what it's changed in a year. It's the biggest investment that I can make. Everyone's different, but you know, it's.
And if you don't meditate for one day, you notice a difference, right?
I notice a difference, yeah.
Yeah.
I do notice a difference.
Bit like Tai Chi,
Mate, to be
maybe?
honest, I'd say about 6 months ago, I had a couple of days where I didn't meditate, and yeah, I just didn't feel like me. So, okay, back to it, and I haven't stopped since. So, it's a great discipline. But even all my little disciplines, you know, making the bed, it's like it's 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or whatever. But all these little ones added together can create anything. Like you were saying, I did an ultra marathon this year, which is 50 kilometers in Andorra.
Wow.
And I was standing there
in the
Andorra,
mountains, right?
In the mountains, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 3,600 meters of elevation.
Wow.
Over 50 kilometers. And I was standing there in Andorra, and some of my family was there. It's amazing. And I was looking around, and I was like, oh my God, there's some serious athletes here. Like some of the best athletes around the world, and Europe, especially Europe. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. I could feel the passion and stuff. And I was like, and I tell people, I just started running in January this year. They're like, what? And I'm like, but it just goes to show what happens when you put your mind to it. I know that's an old saying, but what a saying.
Some of the greatest sayings are old. Most of them are.
Look what happens when you put your mind to it.
Yeah. It's incredible, mate. It's such a good story, and I've seen it all. I wonder if we can tell the viewers, like, if there's anything that you can do during a meditation. I mean, you know, visualization, I think, is the best thing for manifestation. Obviously, feeling it, because you know, your brain, it's inside of a skull, it's locked away, it can't see anything, it can't hear anything. It's solely relying on electrical signals from your eyes and your senses to feed it. So your brain is not going to know the difference to, you know, something real life, or whether you are actually imagining and visualizing it. And that, you know, that's a fact. Like, it can't distinguish the difference between real life and imagination. It's only fed what is fed. So based on that, you know, obviously we know that we are electrical fields, right? We all have a magnetic field around our bodies, and we can interact. Like if I'm in a bad mood, I might go over to Dave, and Dave might be able to feel the energy. You might be
100%.
This guy is you know, is really miserable today, or blah blah, not your usual self. You can feel it even before someone walks into a room sometimes. I mean, dogs are great at it, cats are great at it. Yeah. So you think what you can do about just getting yourself in a good mood, and the visualization helps. I mean, feeling that feeling as well helps when you're manifesting during meditation. So have you got anything that you manifest on when you're, or visualize on when you want to get something?
To be honest with you, I haven't started like trying to I haven't actually started trying to manifest anything in particular, like money or what. I haven't actually tried anything particular.
Yeah.
I think, obviously, when I meditate, you know, it's about love, it's about happiness, and I never take a smile off my face. So in reality, it's
contagious.
It's working. I'm manifesting the happiness and the love. And actually, I started a new job a couple of weeks ago, and the supervisor this morning is like, "You're the happiest guy I've ever met. What? You're always happy." I've only known him for 2 weeks, and I was like, "Wow, that's such a compliment. This guy don't know me,
good,
but and he can feel the." You know, hopefully he enjoys the vibes that I give off of the happiness, and
that is brilliant.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
But that's
isn't
pretty
it?
much what when I'm meditating.
Yeah.
I just listen to me. I'm just focusing on me. You know, I try and forget about the outside world. There's nothing important out there.
Yeah.
It's time to look within and see what's going on. Like I said, I found a new friend, so I spend time with this new friend, and just yes. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in future meditations, but how it's going to grow. But it's so exciting, really, isn't it? To think how much growth there is. It's never ending.
And it's something so simple and so ancient that can be used. Like it's in today, you know, we've got all the technology in the world, we've got wonderful advances, but it's something so simple as just getting in contact with yourself that really can change everything. And then, you know, I found personally when I do a bit of visualization myself during meditation, I find it really helps because some people work differently, some of it's more about emotion, but I try to put it all together. But the most important thing when you're manifesting is to, you know, your heart and your heart chakra plays a massive important role in this, and it's got to be open. It has to be open, because if you're not open to change and to, you know, outside influences to which we might not know the science behind them, but we, you know, there's certain studies to prove that these things do work, and we might not actually entirely know the background behind it, but we know that certain things you've got to do if you want to manifest. And open your heart when you're meditating, and just imagine your heart radiating, opening, things going in, and you tell yourself that as well. And if you want a raise, or if you want more money, because a lot of people quite often it doesn't have to be anything materialistic, it could be anything, you know. But for example, if you wanted more money, you know, you could imagine yourself going to your ATM or checking your bank balance online and seeing the amount in figures that you want, and feeling that sense of whatever it might bring you, whether you want security, if you can't afford to pay your rent, if you can't afford to do this or that, or maybe you're able to go on holiday that year. You know, feel that feeling of feeling comforted that, oh, you know, I can do this now, I can go on holiday, and feel that emotion as well, because the emotion mixed with the visualization really does heighten your experience of meditation. It really does, because all you're doing is you're convincing the brain more and more and more this is real. And what happens when you think this is real? Like attracts like. So as soon as you start thinking that, believing it, living it, you draw things into your life. Like Dave was saying, he's happy, and that's what he wants. And people are noticing that, and people it's bringing other people. It's happiness is coming from him as well. To them, it's contagious. It's infectious, isn't it?
It is, mate. It's the law of attraction.
Yeah.
That's 100% real.
Yeah. That's a great book, by the way. I don't know if you've read it. The Law of Attraction.
I haven't. No.
You just I thought you've read it.
I haven't read the book. No,
yeah,
I've read
Rhonda Byrne.
There's a lot of good books out there though about meditation and manifestation. There's so much. Like you say, with the technology now, man, we've just got unlimited resources.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that's so inspiring. Is we can choose take all this information, a lot of ancient information as well. That, you know, people are sharing, and it's incredible, mate. What's out there?
It's all there, and like he says, you've got an encyclopedia at your fingertips, so there's no reason you can't be learning something every day. That's what I like to do, is to try and learn something new or do something different each day, because Joe Dispenza, we was talking about earlier, a great teacher, by the way, psychologist, he says you've got to be doing something new every day, because otherwise you're just installing the same information down the same neural pathways that light up different parts of your brain. And, you know, you're addicted to doing the same things because your brain is used to it. Your brain will do anything it can to, you know, if you want to manifest something different, it will do everything it can to try and stick you in this middle lane. And it's okay, you know, you're secure, you're safe. Just stick what you're doing here, you know. That's where the negative self-talk comes in. If you can override that, start doing something new, baby steps. All it has to be. It doesn't have to be anything big, you know. It can be anything, really small little things like, if you're not making your bed, make your bed every day. As soon as you get up, or meditate first, then you make your bed. Just introduce one little thing, maybe a meditation.
Start off with something small.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have to be everything at once.
No.
Otherwise, I think that will overwhelm you and it'll be too much.
Yeah.
I think it's important to just take that little step and just meditation or make your bed, or cold shower, or, you know,
observing your thoughts.
Detox, like start eating more healthy.
Yeah.
Observing your thoughts.
Yeah. That was a tough one.
That is tough.
I struggle with it now every day.
Yeah, I do. But I've noticed the good thing is like, rather than, it is a struggle, but you don't recognize it as a struggle. You just say, okay, you just observe, and then you try and continue being aware of everything, you know, what's going on, what you're thinking. And the best thing is try, like, you never get angry with yourself, because we are who we are, you know. We're just trying to improve every day, aren't we?
Yeah.
There's no reason to get angry with your mind if you like, oh, I didn't think this and think that.
Yeah.
Like, Perseverance.
Definitely. It's hard to make the changes and to observe the thoughts and to not get angry at yourself when you've done something you've done 10 times already today. You're trying to stop it and you've just done it again, but that doesn't matter. Like Dave said, that doesn't matter. The fact is that every time that you observe that thought, oh, you can't do this, or you're not worthy, or you're not, blah, blah, blah. Observe it. Get it straight away. As soon as you catch that thought, just observe it without judgment. That's the most important thing. And you could do this in meditation as well to stop the chatter. As soon as you get a thought come in, observe it without judgment. Imagine you are stepping back, like this is the ego talking. You can think of the ego as like the child, and you can think of yourself as the parent. You're making an analytical decision here to say, hey, this is a bad thought. Let's stop thinking about it. Let's silence my mind and get back to doing what we was doing before, which is meditating or manifesting whatever you're doing, or even your day-to-day activities. You don't need that. It's stress. And eventually it could be illness. I hate to say, but it's typical, isn't it, really? But wondering if you wanted to talk about, obviously the teachers that have inspired you. You've said about Joe Dispenza.
Well, you're one of them as well.
Thank you, mate.
Don't forget about that, mate. Yeah, you're a very important one. Because
you've
been doing this for quite a while now, and you really inspired me.
Thanks, mate. You're inspiring me now, mate.
I said it earlier. It was these little signs that I wasn't really paying attention to, yourself. Got friends in Mexico that are very spiritual and like into the yoga and meditation and stuff. And I used to look at that like, they actually did it. I used to do it in my house. And I'd be sitting there having a beer on the computer or whatever. And I'm like, what's this all about, And little do you know, here I am now. Actually, when I go back there, I do the yoga, I do the meditation with them all the time.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So these things were all lining up without you even knowing. So it could have been, this was your path,
Exactly. I just had to open my eyes and start following it. So I feel like I wasn't following it before. Not that I regret anything that's happened in the past, because it's led me to where I am now.
Yeah.
Like everyone,
Yeah.
Everything that you've ever done has led you to where you are.
Yeah.
And that will continue in the future. So
yeah. Like you say, we were saying that 95% of all thought is subconscious and programs. Well, a part of that 95% could have been you yearning for change. And it could be your programs at the back of your mind thinking and saying that this isn't working. I need something different. I need a change. But your 5% of conscious mind was just putting that to the side. You're letting things sweep in and you're not being present. So maybe it could have been something like that, couldn't it? It could be your 95% could have been saying, look, we need to change. And it started to draw things in, like you say. I was saying some things to you and trying to introduce you to meditation, your friends in Mexico and stuff, and yeah, maybe I think that can work sometimes.
Oh, yeah, we keep saying about Mexico. Basically, I go there in the winter for 6 months for the last 4 years, and then come back here.
Yeah, we should have explained that.
Because I'm an electrician, so I don't really like the cold weather too much, and I just basically work for 6 months here, save up, and then go there for 6 months.
Yeah. So. And that's another discipline.
That is.
You try and save everything you got, and I think that's brilliant. You're not tempted.
Do you know what? Another thing as well is, like, I live with my dad. I'm pretty lucky. My dad, he lets me stay at his house, which helps me to save up to go away for the winter. But last year wasn't too bad because I started changing. It was I was still snappy and da-da-da. But the year before that, I was living with him, and it wasn't good. It wasn't healthy.
No.
It was like eggshells around each other, because he was used to living alone. I was used to living with friends or in another country or whatever. And he said, yeah, you can come and stay with me. And we used to argue about tiny little things, because things used to make him angry and things used to make me angry, and we used to argue a lot. And we didn't really get along. It was more, he was my dad, so he was helping me, and I was, I wanted somewhere to stay.
Yeah.
And that was it, and that wasn't healthy. And it wasn't until last year when I started to change and create happiness, manifest happiness. And now, mate, this year living with my dad has been so good.
Yeah,
we're really close now. We cook each other dinner and we talk, and it's great, man, because the happiness is there for both of us. It's
That's
really
another
cool.
another benefit as well. Improve
Yeah,
relationships.
Relationships, 100%.
They do improve. I've noticed that myself. But like you say, you know, when you walk through the door, when you weren't getting on, for example, you'd walk through the door, your dad would be in, and you know there's going to be an argument, right?
Yeah, or you go and sit in the other room straight away because you know you don't want it to lead to an argument about something stupid.
Yeah. And why is that? Because you're not present. You're thinking
Yeah.
about all the arguments you've had before. You know
Exactly.
what, because you're in that programmed mind. You're not present and
You're not
thinking,
in
oh,
the
do you know
right
what?
here.
Yeah, I'm not going to go in. We can have a good conversation. We can do this, do that. When two people aren't like that, or not living presently, it can be even more difficult because you could be present and go in thinking this. I'm open to having a good chat here and having a laugh and not arguing, but the other person might not be.
Yeah.
But
But
it does have a
honestly,
knock on.
I think the vibe that you give off,
Yeah,
it puts their ego away.
it
Because
has to.
I'm not being funny. If someone is in autopilot and they're looking at you standing there with this beaming smile and you know they can feel my vibes and they can feel that nothing from the outside world is going to change my inside world.
Yeah.
It must be obvious because mate, I never have arguments with anyone about anything anymore.
Yeah.
Ever,
Yeah.
really, ever.
Yeah.
Because you're untouchable.
Yeah.
When you change the inside world and you don't let the environment or the outside world affect it, you're unstoppable.
That's it. A lot of the monks say they will react to something that we're not saying you've got to do this to this extent, but some monks would say they react to something that's positive the same as they would react to something that's negative. Nothing will faze you. You've got to get into that mindset that even the worst possible things, it's you that decides to let that outside stimulus become a problem.
Yeah.
Because your brain's tucked away up in there, you know, it only solely relies on your senses to feed it. And yeah. That's one other thing I wanted to talk about. I think that might have had a bit of an influence in your awakening. Ayahuasca,
Yeah.
DMT.
Well, no, that's a funny one. Ayahuasca.
Should we just? Ayahuasca is it's like an ancient coming of age thing in the Amazon that certain tribes will give to youngers as they're developing into adult maturity, and it's meant to be a lesson, a life lesson. It is a psychedelic, but it's a natural psychedelic, and you need to mix two different pieces. It's a part of a vine that you get from one particular tree in the Amazon and a root as well, and when blended together into a sort of a tea or a brew and boiled up, it elicits DMT, which is dimethyltryptamine, which is, you know, it's inside us anyway. It's released from the brain. It can be when you're born and when you die, but it's a massive psychedelic. But what they use it for is, you know, it's for guidance, and they say that you quite literally can get in contact with the intelligence that runs the show, essentially the field, as what quantum physicians describe it as. But you're getting in touch, they call it Mother Aya, and she will show you your past, your future, where you're going wrong, quite literally give you advice in English, right? Am I on the right track there? Because I've not done it myself, but I'd like
English?
Well, you've got a voice, so like a voice that's narrating. From what I've heard, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't for me. It wasn't any.
You didn't hear
speaking involved.
No
It
voice,
was,
no.
It was almost a language of vibration. It was like you could understand from the vibrations.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was very very interesting.
Did you get any lessons, or what was it you took away from it most when you know?
Oh man, I think every time I just woke up. Well, I say woke up, just came back like very very happy.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I mean I've done it 3 times now.
Yeah.
I see it. So I remember the first time I see an eagle, and I was just with this eagle. You know, this eagle was there, and then the eagle turned into Ganesh. And this was interesting because Ganesh is the Hindu god. The god is the remover of obstacles. So basically, I didn't really know anything about Ganesh. When I said to my shaman friend, he's not really a shaman, but he does a good ceremony. So Pedro, thanks. Anyway, so yeah, I did, and I told him after what I saw, and I said, I saw like an elephant with a lot of arms, and I knew who Ganesh was, but it wasn't wasn't in my mind. He said, "Oh, that's Ganesh." And I was like, wow. And then obviously I did research on Ganesh. And I went back a few weeks later, maybe a month later, and I did it again with him. He does like acupuncture, he does meditation, and you do like some sort of snuff from the Amazon, made from Amazon trees, and then
Oh wow.
you do like the DMT. So
Yeah.
it's great, and he plays like plays music, and you lay down, and really, really cool experience actually. And I saw two not Greek gods, two Egyptian gods.
Right. Yeah.
So I basically I told him everything I saw, and he said, "Right, you've seen this god, you've seen it," and I'm like, I now believe that all these gods are real, all these ancient gods.
Because
everything.
you'd never seen them before, you didn't know who they were.
I've never paid any interest.
Yeah.
And then I described to him what I saw, and then he told me it's Sobek, this Egyptian god, and the other one, can't remember her name now. And I looked up on my phone, and I was like, wow, that's exactly who I saw.
So you'd never seen a picture before, but you pictured it exactly, pretty much. how
Maybe
it
at
was.
some stage in my life,
Yeah.
but maybe at some stage in my life, yeah. I mean, you must have, because we have seen pictures of them. But there was no reason for those ever to be on my mind that particular time, you know. And I feel like there's all these dimensions now, and
So you were sort of did you see anything in geometry or anything
Yeah.
like that? I think I
a
remember
lot
you
of
saying something.
vibrations. Like, actually, one time I felt like so much energy, vibrating so much. I was laying down. I honestly thought I was going to start levitating.
Wow.
I was vibrating that heavy, like that much. And you know, the way we move is just from vibrations, isn't it? And when it's such a cool feeling, and to be in that love, you know, and almost like in another dimension. In another dimension, with all these different gods and vibrations.
Yeah.
And, yeah, man.
That's amazing. From what I've heard, I mean, I've heard it can be like 1,000 therapy sessions in one, you know, and it's helped crack cocaine addicts and heroin addicts and the hardest drugs, the hardest habits, that people have just been like, no, I'm done. Like people who have been 20 years addicted, and they've had one session of ayahuasca and they've just been, yeah, I'm finished with it.
I'd
It's a
highly recommend doing
reprogramming.
it with someone that, you know, is going to do like a ceremony.
Yeah, definitely. If you're going to do it, yeah, disclaimer.
Yeah.
Do it in a proper ceremony, obviously.
Nice, safe place, and because I know people that have had bad experiences, and I imagine them bad experiences purely because they wasn't in the right place in their head.
Now I just want to do meditation. It's actually something that we've released before, and you'll find it on our social media pages, on Facebook, on YouTube, and Spotify as well. It's called Manifest Your Ultimate Potential. Okay, so this meditation has been designed to help you to reach your ultimate potential and embody the vision of your future. There is an abundance of possibility and power lying dormant inside, just waiting for you to tap into. So when you become aware of negative thought patterns and break away from limiting self-belief systems, you'll start to be able to start forging new positive pathways in your brain and manifesting a future that you truly desire, that is right for you. Okay? So in a moment, the meditation will begin. So firstly, I'd just like to make sure that you're sitting upright with your back straight on a chair or somewhere comfortable. Avoid laying down or something, because you might find yourself falling asleep. With this type of meditation, it's important to try to stay as conscious as you can for as long as you can. So I'd like you to focus and concentrate on finding your center. Okay? Just become aware of your heart and the area around your chest. Clear your head of any thoughts and remind yourself of what it is that you wish to achieve in your life, as this will be your intention. If you find your mind wandering, just acknowledge those thoughts without judgment and thank yourself for noticing them. So now, Pay close attention to your breathing. Take a deep breath in through your nose, pushing your stomach out as you do so. Count to 3 on the top of each breath and exhale. Make sure you exhale through your nose, through your mouth. So you're breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. And just notice how the air gently brushes past the tip of your nose as you breathe in. Feel how your stomach naturally retracts when you exhale. You're becoming more and more relaxed with every breath that you take, clearing your mind of any thoughts and relaxing every muscle in your body. Focus your thoughts, center yourself, and notice how your body feels. Feel the sensations in your fingertips, your toes, the tops of your shoulders. Become aware of those areas and conscious of your body's sensitivity. Notice the space around your head, above, below, and to the sides. Imagine now that you're surrounded by a ball of energy, like a sphere that is warm and bright. Your consciousness fills this ball and is receptive to all that is inside and out. Visualize this energy expanding outwards in all directions, as far as you can see. Focus your awareness and feel the space around you, expanding your consciousness as far out as you can. Try to hold this state of awareness for a moment. And every time you feel your mind wandering, just notice the thought, become the observer, and redirect your focus back to expanding your awareness. Now I'd like you to picture yourself walking along a beautiful beach, preferably one that you already know. Project yourself and your consciousness there, and allow your senses to get carried away in this experience. Feel the sand as it melts in between your toes with every step that you take. Powdery and silky, sending a thrill that runs up from the soles of your feet to the top of your head. It's night time here now at the beach, and the sky is clear and calm. You can see thousands and thousands of stars, which neither blink nor flash. They just float silently in a lucid sea of polar white and eternal black. The full moon is bright and surrounded by an ethereal glow. It is so large and so close here that you can see all of the craters that litter its surface. The sea reflects the moon's cool silvery glare that melts into the waves like platinum. Your attention turns to the sound of the ocean, the waves, which roar they crash into the rocks, breaking the shore. I'd like you to imagine that you're standing at the edge of the ocean, okay? Facing out to sea. Now take a moment to concentrate on the dream that you wish to manifest into your reality. Think to yourself, what is it that you truly desire? What do you want to become? And what habits do you want to leave behind? Whatever it is, think of what you want to achieve and to change in your life. It is you who ultimately decides what you do with your time here on earth. Open your heart and tell yourself now that it is time to say goodbye to your old self and the old programming, because you will no longer feel limited by it anymore. From now on, you only produce positive thoughts and make positive actions that will entail produce positive emotions and actions. And no longer will you suffer the trap of the negative thought cycle. When you catch yourself thinking limited thoughts, just remind yourself of who you no longer want to be. Recognize the thoughts and the behaviors that are stopping you from reaching your goals. You no longer associate with these thoughts. You will learn to spot these emotional triggers before they can affect your mood. This will be crucial to your success. No longer will you embrace these old ways, because failure is only reserved for your old self now. Because you are leaving that world behind. Become the observer of negativity and resistance. And think of it as a victory. Every time your mind becomes aware. Your new self can move on and redirect its focus to what it really wants to achieve. Every time you do this, you are strengthening the embodiment of your future and taking a step forward to becoming a new you. This is a clean slate where you are ready and present to take on any challenge with a mindset that is unlimited in what it can achieve. Now I'd like you to remind yourself of who you want to become. What choices, behaviors, and experiences do you need to endorse to get there? Your new familiar self is one that embodies your new future all of the time. It doesn't allow the negatives to get in the way or to convince you that you're not good enough, because it is only concerned with concentrating on which path you will take to get where you want to be. Send out a message to the universe. I am receiving. And inside your hands, I want you to imagine with specific detail exactly what you want to manifest into your life. Pull your mind, your heart, and your being into receptive mode. And see your dream in your hands as an objective reality. Be as visual as you can, because this will really help. And notice all of the small things that come with your achievement. How do you feel now that you've accomplished all that you've wanted to? Become present with that feeling. Embody it. Embody those emotions. Because this is who you are now. Keep your heart open to all of the possibilities that this new future brings. Let your body respond to your mind and your emotions. Imagine and visualize that you're an antenna that can send and receive signals and frequencies. If you haven't already done so, I'd like you to picture yourself in this vision, looking from an outside perspective. Notice how happy you are, radiant, positive. And now, if you can, place that image up onto the surface of the full moon, above the waves, on that beach where you were, and see it glowing in the sky. Your vision, your future, where you want to be. On the surface of the moon, above the sea, reflecting onto the waves whilst you stand on the beach, sand in between your toes, seeing that vision, feeling it. Keep those emotions that come with your success running strong. as you look at your vision imprinted up onto that moon, feel it as an internal representation. This is you. This is everything now. And let that thought become your experience. By visualizing and imagining it, you're convincing your mind and your body that this is real. And this is how reality should feel from now on. Allow the emotions inside of you to teach your body how the future feels right now. And as you do this, I'd like you to pick up the rope that's sitting next to you on the sand and throw it up to the moon, because you're going to lasso that moon, okay? Pull the rope tight and start reeling it in towards you. The vision, your future, everything that you want to become or achieve is on that moon. And you're bringing it closer and closer into you. You're drawing it in. Drawing it into your wave field. Move your body into alignment with the positive frequency of your vision. And attract it with your influence that you have deep inside. That everybody has this. Everybody is capable of doing this. When it's closer, I want you to hold the moon in your hands. Let your vision just float there for a moment, glowing brightly. Feel the warmth touching your skin. Create a loving connection with your heart and breathe that feeling through the center of your chest. Breathe it back out. Concentrating on your heart area as you do so. Align yourself with this loving frequency that you feel with the light, and build a connection within. As you feel the connection growing, open your hands and face them upwards, making a positive gesture to receive. Stay with the feeling of success, achievement, and triumph as long as you can from now on, today, and in your everyday life. Attract all of those good things into your world with your new positive vibration. Your new self will make better choices going forward and will not react to old negative simulation. For every day that you practice being mindful of this, you will know you will only grow stronger. Right now, you are priming your mind and body into a future that is perfect for you. Training it now to take the right steps and make the right choices all of the time. Here is where you need to be living in alignment with your vision. Allow this new process of thought, influence, to start building a better future for you now. Your energy is so powerful. So why invest it in negative thoughts and experiences and emotions? Instead, invest that energy into your future, your dream, your vision. Now, lastly, I'd like you to become aware of your heart and the space around it. Place your hand over your chest and feel its connection with your energy. Imagine yourself breathing in and out through your chest, through your heart. And as you do, you feel the feeling of gratitude and love for your dream vision. Thank the universe for this wonderful gift. You can now bring your awareness back to the space around you and slowly open your eyes to your new environment and the new you. Thank you very much for listening. Keep embodying that feeling of success and making the right choices here and now. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been wonderful, and I just hope that you guys can all continue to start working on your dreams and manifesting them into reality. So don't forget that we'll be doing this on more regularly now. So we're going to be back in 2 weeks' time on Thursday, where there'll be a completely different topic to be talking about and a brand new meditation for you to listen to as well. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you from Inner Preservation. And we hope to see you very soon in 2 weeks' time. Thank you.